In this experiment, we can learn how important it is to truly look into one's character. We can be putting ourselves down by our own hands and not even truly recognize it. Let us commence further into this study in order to learn that the results of this experiment reveals how over time the physiological effects build up and cause permanent damage to the arteries, which leads to heart disease.
The purpose of this experiment was to find out if people who are exposed to chronic stress over a long period of time, whether it is due to excessive drive, pressure, or any competitive situation, are more likely to suffer from CHD, also known as coronary heart disease.
Engaging their previous research, the two doctors set out to define the characteristics most likely to relate to the coronary heart disease. They grouped the characteristics into two categories.
The doctors realized that their research demonstrated how vigilant observation of the most seemingly minute details can lead to scientific breakthroughs. One day, while Dr. Friedman was having his chairs reupholstered, it was brought to his attention that the edge of his chairs had been worn more significantly than any other part of them. This prompted many questions in his mind, but most importantly, he wondered, were his patients' behavioral characteristics different than that of doctors with other specialties?
Type A characteristics were defined as personal drive to achieve one's goals, continuous spirit of competitiveness, ambitious, persistent desire for recognition and advancement, excessive involvement in activities subject to deadlines, tendency to rush, extraordinary alertness, both mental and physical.
Type B characteristics were defined as lack of personal drive, lack of ambition, insensitive to time urgency, lack of desire to compete or complete projects, lack of involvement in activities with deadlines.
The doctors then reached out to the managers and supervisors with this criterion to find research participants. Their research method included having each participant track everything they ate or drank over the course of 1 week. They assigned code numbers to represent items to prevent participants from withholding information on what they ingested. Blood samples were taken to measure cholesterol and clotting. These pieces of information helped to determine further risk of CHD.
In line with the characteristics of the categories, Type A participants found themselves to be very ambitious, eager, competitive in both work and non-work related activities, and driven to win at most everything, while Type B participants found themselves inclined to major advancements in the workplace, lacked the sense of time urgency.
This shows the outcomes for both Type A and Type B. Type A participants worked, exercised, smoked, and drank more than Type B participants, although the margins were not always highly significant. The next concern was that Type A participants had much higher cholesterol levels and their blood coagulated much faster than most Type B participants. These factors greatly increased the risk of CHD in participants. The main theory behind why Type A people are at more risk for CHD is that the arousal caused by stress triggers the body to release stress hormones, increasing heart rate and blood pressure. Over time, the physiological effects build up and cause permanent damage to the arteries, which lead to heart disease.
The three main points that are significant not only to the study, but more importantly, they are significant to the transformation of medicine. The identification of the behavioral pattern that can be followed to aid in the prevention of heart disease. Because of the connection with the characteristics of Type A participants with CHD is triggered numerous other researchers to study it. Because of all the findings, this connection can help to prevent heart attacks in high-risk individuals. Because of the results, there are a realization that behavior has more of an effect on physical well-being than previously thought. The physical and physiological branches of medicine now help to inform doctors on the best way to care for patients.
In conclusion, don't stress out too much. It can kill you, literally.